Today's presentation will be focusing on the role of the EU accession, the Cyprus problem, and the social perceptions for a solution of the Greek press in the Cypriot press. This is part of a broader project that was happening. That was actually worked on 4 different levels: on the construction of European public sphere, citizenship, and the coverage of the Greek Cypriot media, mainly on the press of Philadelphios and Politis. So, speaking about this, and fundamentally, this project is based on the Cyprus problem and the public sphere. Whereas public sphere is the imaginary community where people gather and talk to each other and exchange information, opinion, and ideas about certain things of democracy. So, Habermas, using the Habermasian theory on the national public sphere, we could see that the public sphere operates the national public sphere, as this was a bit identified. It is the public sphere that operates within the framework of a nation state. And what is interesting is that within the Cypriot press, we use the essence of assimilation, which is basically a process of interpretation and fusion in which persons and groups acquire the memories, sentiments and attitudes of other persons and groups, and by sharing their experience in history, are incorporated with them in common cultural life. Taking this context, the theoretical background, into the Cypriot press and the media, we could see that in Cyprus there is a lack of a common assimilation within the 2 different communities, the Greek Cypriot community and Turkish Cypriot community, after the 1974 era, after the separation and the division, de facto division at the moment. So we have now 2 communities, 2 languages, common memories, of course, for all the generations, and language before 1974. So you can see Turkish Cypriots, especially the older people, speaking the Cypriot, Greek Cypriot, and the vice versa in many cases. But nonetheless, we have joined the European Union as of in 2004, 1st of May 2004. However, when the EU accession took place, there was still this notion of enosis, which is actually the annexation with Greece, which is the inspiration for 1955 struggle against EOKA A, but apparently is still valid. And so this was the former Archbishop, the Bishop of Paphos, and for those who are non-Greek speakers, and the late Archbishop, Chrysostomos, who actually, when we joined the European Union, he called all the people from Paphos who were fighters for the EOKA 55, 59, 1955, 1959 fighters to come and celebrate. He'll open champagnes because we're going to be annexed with Greece through Europe. Well, taking to a different level, the Politis newspaper and Philadelphios were talking, and the media overall had a very, very positive image of the European accession. Yes, we have joined the Euro, the European Union. Yes, we are ready. That our dream have come true. Now we're heading. The headlines were saying that towards Greece, we're going to a new era. This is a new era. We're becoming part of the European family. But Politis over here mentions it clearly that there is an issue in terms of people there's a separation of the island. Nonetheless, the Turkish Cypriots were kind of disappointed. Well, on one side, there was this amazing notion of, yes, we are together, we are part of the European Union. On the other side, there was disappointment. And the Turkish Cypriots saw the accession with overall disappointment due to EU acquis was not really implemented. And the Turkish Cypriot Raftintash Republic mentioned that this can have a big problem to the Cyprus problem as such. So fundamentally, this was what the Raftintash has said. So since the 2 communities are having a problem in finding a common solution, there is a common way of saying that Europe will solve it. And that was the initial part of the European Union. When we joined the European Union, there was this wish and hope that the Cyprus problem will be resolved by the European Union. Since the 2 communities were unable to solve this problem, apparently the European Commission would help us, the European Union will help us join the European Union. And this is something that I've spotted from the Eurobarometer, saying that Cypriot always faced the European Union for two focus points, the political and the economic. Politically speaking, they expected that a possible EU accession would contribute to Cyprus, while on the contrary, the financial aspect many citizens feared for negative consequences. So basically, the EU accession for the Cypriots meant, above all, the solution to the Cyprus problem and implementation of the fundamental human right. The political aspect is always superseded by the financial one. That's why the people were in favor of the accession. Indeed, and this has been shown in the latest Eurobarometer of that time, where 56% of the Cypriots thought and believed that the country's participation would lead to a solution of the problem. And it's very interesting that 10 years ago what the two MEPs said about the Cyprus problem. I'll just pause that because for the non-Greek speakers, it was actually Mr. Yoros Georgiou is a member of the left-wing party in the European Parliament, and who said that basically, as I quoted, the accession was supposed to be catalytic for the solution of the Cyprus problem, but this didn't happen despite the changes that happened. So, today, where do we stand? Today, we're having a standstill in negotiation talks between the two communities as the problem remains unsolved. The recent opening of Varosha, the fenced-off city of Varosha, was condemned by the international community and brought another obstacle in the discussion, in the talks. Turkey's Cypriot leader at the moment, Ersin Tatar, follows the same narrative of Mr. Denktash, claiming that two different countries should be part of the solution and engage into negotiations. While the newly elected Republic of Cyprus president stated that making an effort in the UN, is trying to continue to make an effort in the UN to resume talks for unification. Of course, there's always the UN Secretary General calls in for discussion to talk and discuss more and engage to a solution. But what do people think? So basically, and to resume quickly, and there's loss of hope. People have lost hope. And this has been shown in the latest Eurobarometer when there is no issue about the Cyprus problem on the agenda. What we propose, social integration is a pathway to the solution. People need to get together and need to be socially integrated with each other. And the Europeanization in its political aspect that would help towards a solution. That's all from me. Thanks very much.